This is because of Republicans. I mean, they are refusing to cooperate. They are refusing to come back to the table until they say the government reopens. But we can't trust them. I mean, are we actually going to be able to take their word that if we vote to reopen the government and they come back to that they will actually come back to the table and negotiate on keeping health care subsidies in place? We can't trust them. But look, it is challenging. It is difficult. And I think sometimes both parties tend to say, oh, like we're up or we're down or you know, they're trying to keep score like a football game. It shouldn't be like that because people's lives are at stake. But at the end of the day, I do believe that Democrats are in the right fight here because we don't have a lot of leverage here, Simone, as you know, with that not control of the House and Senate or the White House. So we have to do what we can. And the way that we are going to be able to hopefully get a deal on health care and thus a deal to reopen the government is to force Republicans to come to the table and agree to keep the subsidies intact.
Jonathan, one of the questions I think is always top of mind for folks in a shutdown is who are voters going to blame for this? They're going to blame Democrats. They're going to blame Republicans. I also think, though, there's a deeper question about how Americans are metabolizing what is happening. I want you to take a listen. There was some really powerful sound. This is from Jill Nixon. She's the executive director of the Food Depot. It is a food bank in Santa Fe, New Mexico.
How long is this sustainable?
Wow. It's not. It won't be from the first day. For every meal that a food bank provides, the SNAP program provides 9. There's no way we can meet that gap. There's no way we can replace every single one of those meals. It is not sustainable for food banks to fill this gap. We were not built to do this. We will stand out there and we will do our very best.
I get that part of what Donald Trump and Republicans want to do is actually use the government shutdown to paint a picture, Jonathan, that the government doesn't work, the government's ineffective. There's the counterweight to that, though, which is an illustration in people's lives of the role that government plays at a scale of safety net that is simply impossible to replicate by the private sector. I wonder how you think folks are understanding the bigger lesson here about government support.
Yeah, well, I think this is when we're going to find out how they're metabolizing it. You know, until now, for the most part, through the month of October, we haven't really seen the kinds of cuts that are going to really show up in people's lives. That changes November 1st. Food assistance is a perfect example. Those people you just played, these are real lives. They are of all ages. These are people who are working. They are not going to be able to eat. They are not going to be able to feed their families. And that will show up. And, I was thinking about, the one, question is, all right, it shows up, but for whom? And does it matter, say, to the Republicans? Because, are these a lot of low income voters who maybe they don't care as much about? But, two things to keep in mind is, first of all, you've got a lot of people in red states and red districts who count on these programs. And I was thinking in particular about the Head Start, early childhood. I think Simone was mentioning it earlier. That we're starting to, I was just reading about an hour ago, a press release from the Wisconsin Head Start Association, where they were talking about 2 very specific programs that were going to have to close down because they're losing money. And yes, that affects the families who are on Head Start. But guess what? When those parents can't send their kids to childcare, and what's going to happen? They're not going to be able to go to work. That's going to show up. It's going to ripple through the economy. It's going to ripple through our society. And that's when I think people start to say, hey, wait a minute, this really does matter to me. This isn't just some noise in Washington. These are our lives.
So to pick up on, I think, a very important point that Jonathan just made, which a lot of people kind of blow past, right?
Yeah.
Because for some reason, we seem to think that the only people who are going to be impacted by what this MAGA government is doing are people who live in places like California, New York, in blue cities and states around the country.
Nope.
But the reality of life is much harsher, my friend. I give you the Miami Herald that notes roughly 1 million households in Florida benefit from food stamps. of the more than 215,000 households receiving benefits in Miami-Dade County, 3 out of 5 have one or more elderly members, according to a Miami Herald analysis of data from the U.S. Department of Agriculture. What you're seeing here is our seniors are on food stamps and are on these programs. They live in very red places like Miami and Arizona and Mississippi, poorest state in the union. So if you're Mike Johnson, your own state, by the way, check your numbers there in Louisiana, red state. If you're Mike Johnson, how do you hear someone who's running a food pantry go, this is not sustainable for every one SNAP program that we have? I mean, for every one person who comes in for food from our location, there are 9 SNAP recipients that we also have to be considered in this thing. How do they work this? I mean, how does he hear that and still maintain that it's your party's fault that we're here?
It's truly absurd. And when you put it in that context, I mean, a couple of things. Number one, we have to remember, even though Mike Johnson is the Speaker of the House, he is still somebody who runs for office every 2 years. And I realize he's in a quote unquote red safe district. But when you look at the people who are going to be impacted here, this transcends political lines. I mean, people who voted for Trump are going to be substantially impacted here if SNAP benefits don't happen. And what Democrats are saying is, you can have your SNAP benefits, you can have all the government benefits that you get if the Republicans will just come to the table. And by the way, make sure that you have your health care. So the same people who are at risk of losing or are losing SNAP benefits right now are also at risk of losing their health care. And so that is why it makes no sense to me. And this is also why, again, I hate to do this like tit for tat, who's winning the messaging war, who's not, because it really is the American people who are suffering from this. But at the end of the day, if Mike Johnson and Republicans would simply come to the table and say, we will go ahead and negotiate on health care now, Democrats will come to the table, reopen the government, people will get their benefits, people will get their health care, everyone's going to be happy. And let's also remember that a significant majority of Americans want to protect their Obamacare subsidies. It's just the Republicans cannot stand the fact that this was an Obama-passed bill that is aptly nicknamed Obamacare, and that's what people call it. And it's very hard for them to be able to reconcile voting for something that they were so adamantly against when it initially passed, but is now overwhelmingly popular, and millions of Americans rely on it.
You know, I think, Jonathan, the shutdown is going to end one of two ways. I think back to earlier this year, as we talk about the Head Start programs, when Russ Vought said that they're shutting down that Medicaid portal, right? And all the Head Start programs across the country started calling their elected officials, Democrats and Republicans. Republicans started calling the White House saying, hey, I'm hearing about this in my district. And in 24 hours, that portal was back open. And Russ Vought was rebuked from the inside of the government. That happened because the people who were being affected picked up the phone, called their elected officials, and put pressure on them, and the elected officials put pressure on the White House. So I think that that's one way this ends. Or the other way this ends is that the airlines get involved. That's how the last shutdown ended. Remember, there were 35 days shut down the last time there was a government shutdown when Donald Trump was president. And it ended because the airlines picked up the phone, called the White House and Congress, and said, something has to be done. What say you? What's happening first? Is it the people or the airlines?
Mm-hmm.
You know, look, I never can predict these things. I never know who's going to be allowed or not. And it's not clear to me. You know, in normal political times, I feel like I could predict at least a little bit how a president would respond. But this White House is so the way they respond to normal incentives is so unpredictable. It's really hard to tell. But I do know this. I remember, and you guys probably remember too. Do you remember the fall of 2013 when healthcare.gov first opened and lots of people suddenly discovered their health insurance rates went up and people screamed bloody murder? It was a real political crisis. And, the Republicans are now looking at a situation where people, starting November 1st, a ton more people are going to see how much their insurance costs without these extra subsidies, and they are going to be angry. Now, the Republicans are going to try to blame this on the Democrats and say, it's a failure of Obamacare, and they're going to make their arguments. But at the end of the day, they are the party in power, and they are going to take the heat for this. And I do think they are underestimating what that reaction is going to look like. And I think at the end of the day, when it comes to health care, when people are faced with a choice, they do believe that Democrats are the party that want to help them to afford health care. Republicans are the ones who are always taking health care away. So, I would say this, it's very risky for the Republicans to keep at this because those premiums, people start to see these huge increases and they get angry, I think that they're going to hold the Republicans responsible.